Hey, everybody, welcome to the Rosalie Elliott Show, all about world music and psychology. I have a special artist for you today. It's perfect for you. Ah, she's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize. His name is Davin McCoy. He's from Atlanta, Georgia, and he has a new song out called Wolf and Peach. And I can't wait to check it out with you. I'm starting over. Guys, even that chord progression, da 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 dum, that descent to me is sombering. Emotionally, it makes me slow down. It grabs my attention. It pulls me in. This is the type of music you got to put your stuff aside and just put everything on pause for a second and pay attention. But it also makes me think of something is coming down or falling down, or we're sitting down to take something in here. Let's start over. Wolf and Peach. The perfect Georgia song. Ooh, that low note.
I incentivized a kingdom when I learned that life was hell without you here. Put my heart upon my sleeve and I walked open without fear. And you wore it fine as jewelry until you lost your shine for me. Never dreamed there was a hell until my kingdom fell. And don't you wonder what the dark is? We shook the monsters waging war under our bed like refugees from the shadows, just to find another home inside our head. The Wolf and Peach, we built a castle. We took up arms and went to battle. I've never felt that way before, but I don't feel that anymore. Life gets tired, I don't sleep well. Threw a hand grenade and walked away. Charred remains, I let you back that day, just so you could see the mess you made. I burned the ships and said the words out loud. And every time we talk, we always shout. Your voice was once my favorite sound, the ghost that haunts this kingdom now. Somewhere in the garden, a dog off the leash, a wolf and a peach, and I love just out of reach. And sunrise on tired eyes, and a fox in the street, a wolf and a peach, and I love just out of reach. You didn't kill what's in my heart. Pictures say just stained glass falls apart, but love remains, we call it art. I was shattered from the start, beat again mosaic heart. I built a kingdom upon your love. We built a castle and we burned it up. With reckless aim we shot the sun from both sides of the gun. Can't overcome the damage done.
Wow.
Somewhere in the garden, a wolf and a peach, memories and grief, the kingdom at our feet, sunrise and hollow eyes, a quiet lonely street, the wolf and the peach, and a love still out of reach.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is so beautiful on so many levels. I don't even know where to start. I've heard Davin sing before, and I believe Davin McCoy has a very unique, beautiful voice, from the rasp to the full notes to the way that he brings in some of that vibrato, the grit of his voice. It's so raw, it's so emotional. There's singers out there where you know they can sing well and they're good performers or entertainers. Then there's those who are musicians, true artists, and there's those who really make you feel something because they're so in tune with their emotions, or trying to be, or for some reason make you feel so connected to that song. And this song had so many layers. The lyrics pulled me in from the start, and they were so vast and so painful and beautiful. But then even the footage of this video, I love the black and white, the gray. It's very classy. It's very sombering. It's not flashy. It pulls you into what the emotion of the song may be. Various footage of him singing the song when he stood there with that what looked like a bat. That was intense and heavy. I thought, what's happening now? But it also conveyed the emotion of things being shattered and broken. When he spoke about that mosaic heart, if you guys know, if you're new to this channel, then welcome. You're going to find references more and more here and there as you're part of the journey, and find Easter eggs all over. But for those of you who have been here, you know I speak about mosaic on and off, even in my conversations with Ren or when I describe him, and this idea of things that are broken becoming something beautiful. And he tied in this idea of mosaic and the mosaic heart. But then speaking of it beating again, oh my gosh, the musical composition. An acoustic guitar to me can convey so much raw beauty and emotion. It can make things sound more upbeat, as we know, of course, also depending on how it's played, the rhythmic elements. It can bring in this idea of, you got the Americana, the folk, right, the bluesy feel. It can really strip things down, especially the acoustic guitar in my mind, to this raw feeling. But then with this composition, in addition to that, you had the strings, which brought in so much crescendo and drama. They really added the coloring between the cracks to make this full and vibrant. But there was a moment where the violin almost sounded a touch off key intentionally, and it fit so perfectly in that very moment to this idea of despair, to this idea of things being off and broken. Then you had the drums bringing in another level of crescendo and the dynamics. But then when that switch happened, in that, I would almost want to call it an epilogue. We could say it was more of a bridge, if you will. And the way things slowed down, it was almost like the heartbeat was slowing down, like things were fading, like when we're dealing with a severe grief, heartbreak. And this is not just heartbreak in the romantic sense, even though that's what I'm pulling out of this song. This could be grief when you lose a loved one. This could be grief when your dreams come shattering down, when something comes to an end. Things are slowing down, including our heartbeat. And we're having to collect ourselves and reflect and really come face to face with the heartache. But the lyrics of this thing, oh my gosh, this masterpiece. The title alone is a beautiful, I don't know of any other song titled Wolf and Peach. That in itself it speaks of a dichotomy. The peach being the Georgia fruit, right? Being something sweet and soft and gentle and juicy to that contrast of a wolf, right? Hairy and wild and free and dangerous. It's the beautiful, powerful contrast. But in my mind, it paints this picture of two people who complemented each other, but also contradicted each other greatly, who could have been a perfect combination, almost like this fairy tale, right? You got the Red Riding Hood and the wolf. You got Snow White and the dwarves. You got these opposites that don't sound like they fit, and yet they do. Wolf and the peach, it just sounds like it would fit, but yet there is a dichotomy. There's a paradox. And the lyrics, then, I wanna go through them with you guys a little bit, because this is just absolutely beautiful to me. The dismay of the lyrics of speaking of life being hell without you here. This type of communicating what it really looks like. This is no shallow breakup. This is no little, oh, well, all the best to you. I'm a little sad, right? I'm going to cry myself to sleep with some wine in front of a rom-com Netflix because, chocolate, #heartbreak. This is This song really puts in words deep pain, deep loss, where it feels like hell when you lose a person and you've built your entire kingdom around this relationship or around this person. You've had these expectations, these hopes and dreams. And then to say, I never dreamed there was a hell until my kingdom fell, right? Saying, I never thought that hell could be real, that this was a thing until my kingdom fell, until I experienced hell. My kingdom being a relationship, a marriage. Again, I feel like this sounds like the loss of a romantic relationship. It is so painful. That type of heartbreak that you just don't have when, let's say, a friendship comes to an end or you lose a job or that type of loss. It really sounds like an intimate relationship that is broken. But I still feel like this song is so powerful and relatable to many because it could be other things to you. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be something coming to an end that was so part of your identity and your sense of self. But here to speak of this hell that's being experienced, to say we're constantly just fighting, even though I used to love your voice. Your voice was my favorite sound. I mean, imagine that type of grief to go from really knowing and loving someone to completely feeling that disconnect and everything shattering. Somewhere in the garden, did he say a dog lost the leash? Is it this? And then later speaks of fox. I love the imagery that's being painted here. The wolf and the peach, the fox out there, the dog and the leash, right? Did this idea of somewhere in the garden, right? Something that's supposed to be a place of freedom and beauty and blooming and life and new beginnings is now a place where a dog loses his leash, where a dog loses his disconnect, loses what was connecting him to his owner, perhaps, or keeping him safe to a degree, or perhaps keeping other people safe. And then a few times in the lyrics, he speaks of a love that's out of reach. It's so painful because it really conveys when you, even in a breakup or in a divorce or in a separation or in loss, there is still this deep desire for many, at least, not all, of course, that they wish they could have made it work. This was supposed to be different. This was supposed to be a beating heart, not a shattered one. This was supposed to be a love that lasts, and somehow it's just out of reach. And that is part of the human experience in many ways. And the painful part of it, when you feel like you're so close to something, but yet you're out of reach. And then the way that his voice goes up in the end, that full grit when he just taps fully into that smoky whiskey, bourbon, oak wood, vocal masterpiece of a performance. Sheesh. I mean, talk about crescendo right there. It just, oh my gosh. And that part got me when he says, you didn't kill what's in my heart. Right? There's still there's still life and love. It's what I'm taking away from this. There's still something there. You didn't kill it. And that mosaic heart starts beating again. That gave me hope. That pulled me in because I thought, is there hope? Is something beautiful coming out of this shattered glass? But then ending with that idea of a love just out of reach. We were so close. See in that too, memories and a kingdom at our feet. It really paints this picture. It's fairy-like, it's fairy tale-like, but real fairy tales. The kinds where the castles burn and the hearts shatter and the wolf eats the peach or vice versa. And it's just, that would kind of be a funny image in my mind if the peach ate the wolf. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like the title of a fairy tale and it speaks of gardens and kingdoms, but it's not, but it's reality. It's what we really are experiencing in life. Heartache and heartbreak. I mean, talk about a song that is legendary. This song is freaking legendary. When I was listening to this and the emotions that it took me through, it made me think of some of those legendary songs that, like Tennessee Whiskey, just Chris Stapleton, right, sings that one or does a cover of it. And, that one became kind of famous and blew up. It's one of those songs that I feel like are timeless, that you could listen to over and over again and you'll keep pulling something else out of. And it's painful and it's beautiful. Guys, you have got to go check out this song. Put on your headphones or let it play in the car or while you're doing whatever. Play it on repeat and just let it impress on you. This is music. This is artistry. Go check out Davin McCoy. I'll put the links below. Make sure to follow him on social media. Let me know what you think of this song. How did this make you feel? What did this do for you? Tell me in the comments and I'll see you on the next ride. Make sure to subscribe. Ayo!